By the way,
where did
where did
you
you
reach
reach
with
with
the
the
JavaScript
JavaScript
lessons that
lessons
I
that I
had
had
instructed you
instructed you
to
to
look
look
at?
at?
Yeah, I've been reading.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you shared a lot of notes. Yeah, I've been reading all the notes that you have shared, but
Okay.
only
Okay.
students in them. Yeah, I've
All right.
also
All right.
tried working on the assignment. Mm.
Very
Very
nice. Very
nice.
nice.
Very
I
nice.
just
I just
wanted that
wanted that
assurance.
assurance.
But
But
you've
you've
realized that
realized that
what we
what
have
we
in
have in
JavaScript and
JavaScript and
what we
what we
hand in
hand in
Python,
Python,
what is
what is
happening? It
happening?
is
It is
just the
just the
change of
change of
syntax
syntax
alone.
alone.
Mm.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is
It is
just the
just the
change of
change of
syntax, and
syntax, and
then
then
we have
we have
everything to flow as it
flow as it
was
was
previously in
previously in
Python.
Python.
The
The
logic
logic
becomes the
becomes the
same. So
same.
what
So
you
what you
read
read
new in
in
JavaScript is
JavaScript
just
is
the
just the
syntax.
syntax.
Everything
Everything
remains the
remains
same
the
as
same
we
as
had
we had
tackled
tackled
in
in
Python
Python
programming.
programming.
Mm.
All right,
All right,
I'm going
I'm
to
going to
make an
make an
application. I'm
I'm
going to
going to
make
make
an
an
application
application
from Draw,
from
by
Draw,
the
by
way.
the way,
And this
and
will
this
be a
will be a
JavaScript
JavaScript
application that
application that
tackles
tackles
and
and
handles
handles
what we
what we
call
call
JavaScript
JavaScript
interactivity in
interactivity in
JavaScript.
JavaScript.
And
And
I'm
I'm
going to
going to
make
make
something
something
which
which
is
is
actually
actually
very,
very,
very
very
interactive.
interactive.
And of
And
course,
of
we will
course, we
see
will
how
see how
dynamically
dynamically
JavaScript
JavaScript
helps with
helps with
this
this
that we are
that we are
calling
calling
the
the
interactivity.
interactivity.
The
The
interactivity, sure.
interactivity, sure.
Mm.
Um,
Um,
of course,
of course,
we
we
start
start
with
with
our
our
HTML.
HTML.
We
We
start with
start
our
with our
HTML.
HTML.
Normally,
Normally,
as we
as we
start our
start our
HTML,
HTML,
you'll
you'll
agree with
agree
me
with
that
me that
we
we
have
have
what we
what we
call
call
doc
doc
type,
type,
doc
doc
type
type
HTML. The
HTML. The
second one
second one
becomes
becomes
HTML.
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 You
You
can be
can be
very
very
specific
specific
about
about
language,
language,
and this
and this
language we
language we
say, of
say, of
course,
course,
it's
the
English
English
language.
language.
Then
Then
I'll
I'll
move to the
move to the
hand
hand
section.
section.
I'll
I'll
move to the
move to the
hand
hand
section.
section.
Then I'll
Then I'll
have
have
the
the
meta.
meta.
I'll
I'll
have the
have the
meta.
meta.
The meta.
Are
Sorry.
you
Sorry?
going to share the one you are typing?
Oh,
Are
you
you
Or
going
can.
you
to
can.
share the screen you are typing?
Okay.
Okay,
Actually, I've
actually, I've
shared. You
shared. You
cannot see
cannot
it.
see it.
Yeah, I cannot see the one you are typing. I can only see the screen, this, how do you call it? The BS code screen.
All
All
right.
right.
Let me
Let me
see.
see.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Let me
Let me
try to,
try to,
because I
because I
actually
actually
have
have
moved
moved
through it
through it
here.
here.
I don't know
I don't
if
know
you
if you
can
can
see
see
now.
now.
You still
You still
cannot see.
cannot
Let
see.
me
Let me
present
present
again.
again.
Let
Let
me
me
present
present
again.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Okay.
present
Then
afresh
refresh
again.
again.
Ensure now
Now
you
you
can
can
see,
see,
right?
right?
Yeah, I can see now.
Okay. Sorry
Sorry
for
for that
that
before.
before.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay,
let
let
me
me
proceed.
proceed.
So
So
we
we
have the
have the
meta,
meta,
which
which
gives
gives
the
the
detail
detail
of
of
what we are
what we are
setting,
setting,
and I'll
and
say
I'll say
meta
meta
car
car
set,
set,
and this
and
is
this is
UTF-8.
UTF-8.
UTF-8, of
UTF-8,
course,
of
is a
course, is a
standard
standard
that
that
accepts
accepts
what we
what we
call
call
special
special
letters.
letters.
Example
Example
is an
is an
emoji. That
emoji.
means
That
you
means you
can
can
have an
have an
emoji
emoji
on your
on your
website.
website.
So we
So
have
we have
meta
meta
name,
name,
and
and
this
this
will
will
call it
call it
viewport,
viewport,
and then
and then
we
we
go to
go
the
to the
next, which
next, which
says
says
content.
content. content. This will be assigned to wing. Of course, which is equivalent to the wing of the device. That is the device, and then we will have the wing again here. That is the device wing in simple. Then the next one is actually what we call the initial scale. Initial scale should be, I believe it's 1.0. This is the scale before zooming actually. 1.0. No, we do not have this one. We only have the closing. This one alone. That is the correct syntax, definitely. That is the correct syntax. Name, then we have viewport, content, wing, device wing, initial scale 1.0, and then we close it at that point. Then we come here again, we say title. What can we call it? I just want to make a small e-commerce website. So we have the title, and this one I'll call shopping center. Shopping center. A very small e-commerce website. Then next should be link. I should have a link, and this link should point to, and no, it should be link. Then I should specify actually this link, and this link rel. This is link rel, which should point out to. I'll have another one because I'll make another one. I'll make another one, and I'll call it style sheet. Should I call it style sheet or styles? Let me call it styles. Style, no, it should be style sheet, I believe. Yeah, style sheet, because this is an HTML linking to style sheet of the CSS. But the exact link should be, I was just confusing this one to this exact styles. So styles, and then you can see here I have another one called styles.css. So this is the one that I'm just linking here, and then I close there. Style.css, then I'll have to link also the script. The script is the JavaScript. Now how do we link JavaScript with HTML? We link JavaScript with HTML using the script. Using what we call the script. And then within this script, I have what we call defer, and then SRC. SRC now is equivalent to the name of the specific name of that script, and the specific name of that script is script.js, because we have already created it. So this is how to link HTML code with a JavaScript code. Normally that is not what happened. Okay. Then of course I'll have the hand closed at that point. Then I go to body. I'll have the hand closed at that point, and then I go to body. Then within the body, I'll have, let me have an hander. And this hander, of course, what does this hander carries? Let me have H1 carried within this hander. So this H1 says that this is a shopping center for easy manageability. Let me have it here. So this one should be shopping center. Next one, let me make my navigation bar. The navigation bar is the top bar. It is indicated with this nav. So this navigation bar, it should be actually navigation bar. Just a minute. Navigation bar should actually have what we call the A tag, which of course will have it linked to let me think about how I can handle this. Let me give it the link to cut.html. Cut.html. So here I'll have so this is actually what appears. What will appear is cut. However, if we can have an emoji, we can add this. This is what will appear on the top of navigation bar. So this navigation bar, what appears here is a link. The link is cut. So if you click on this cut, then the cut will lead you to this page called cut.html. Okay, let me finish up first, and then I have it. So I'll have this one as well. I just want to entitle it an ID for easy identification. So I'll have the ID as cut, then we have count. That is the ID which I'll give it. Yeah. This is the ID which I'll give it, and then I say, then we have 0. Then I'll have I'll have span after that one. So initially, that is to say that cut has 0. Cut. Okay. Let me run this one script as it is, so that we can see the progress of what we are creating. Yeah. So I just want to present it to you. Up to where we are. What we have just created is a structure, just a page, but it has a link on the top bar. On the top navigation bar. And it has a title. That is the name of the title is Shopping Center. The name of the title is Shopping Center. Okay, let me present something else so that you can see. Here we have it. You can see now it's a page which contains cut, and then we have 0, which is okay. That is what I wanted to appear. So that when you click on cut, it goes to an empty page, which we said it is cut.html. Yeah. I hope you get it up to there.
Yeah.
All right. So
I will try it from my hand.
Okay.
Follow
Good.
your presentation. Yeah.
It's okay. Please, let's go. And this I think should it be here. If it has to be here, then let me close it at this point so that it does not appear on the other side. Let me run it so that it does not appear on the other side. Okay, good. It appears very nicely now. Yeah, there was. Okay, that is of course to say that the cut holds 0 items. That is something that we have thought of it, so that we can have the cut in the best position. All right. If I can find a cut emoji, then I can add it there to indicate that truly this is a cut. It's called cut emoji or cut icon. I don't know if it can be pasted. I've never tried this unless I get it from
it might not be possible. Anyway, we just proceed. We could have done it in another form, but let me proceed with the button. So we have it header. We have finished with the header because we have created our navigation bar. So I just want to go to something we call section. In this section, I will have let me have section, then we have, so inside the section, let me make a class and call it products, and let me call it product. So yeah, if I have this class and it's called a product, then I'll make a container, div container. So in this div container will have what we call okay, class. Then of course we'll access class product, and then that is the name of this section. And then we have data. This is to provide more information, data ID, and then we have that is reference to 1. Then we have data name. Then data name we have this is laptop. We are trying to make literal card. We have data price as 500. That is the first item that I have made, and I'll have it so that it be very clear in what we call H2. H2, that is to determine the size. The size will be that of laptop. Then I'll have paragraph here. Paragraph, and then we'll have laptop. Paragraph will not contain laptop. Let's sell it at $400. Then let's have what we call button. So the class name of this button, I'll call it and to then we have and to cut. Okay, they've changed it to small letter, which is okay. So that is the name of the button. Then of course I close my container there. And then I'll have another container here. Then I'll call it again. Of course, the name of the containers is div, and this container will of course have a class product. Sorry, this is the former. This will have a class. Then we have product. So for easy identification, let me just use product with one. That is of course going even down once. Let me have it like this. I think it should have. I think I placed this in the wrong place. I'm
I wasn't convinced. Why are these not really showing the way they should show? And this is actually what happens. So let me, I'll just duplicate what I have here. I'll duplicate what I have here on top, so to here and down. I'll have this one. Let me have this one, then of course I change this one to products, then I have this one duplicated first time, again duplicated second time, so that I save time, right? And then we have that distinction that we have the second section. Alright, this is the first section, or where does the second section start? Just a minute, I think. Alright. I think I did it okay. So I'll be copying the entire section now, and having another section here, and having another section here. That is a bit better. So the second section I'll have, of course, or I just assume and have one section, and then I have different containers. Let me just for easy working with it. Let me just have one section, and then I have many containers. So we have that section closed at that particular point, but this section should be closed. We should not have any identification at the end of the section. We should only have at the beginning of the section. So this is not necessary. It is part of an error that I made. I don't know where I made this error. So this section here at the beginning should have that this information. So that we have, of course, this is the identifier of the section. It's called the products. Then we have the product 1. So this one I will call it product 2. And then this one I will call it product 3 by the identifier. So the second one I'll have it as phone. Not laptop. Then the third one I'll have it as handphone. Handphone. So this one I'll reduce it to $20. This I'll reduce it to, it's 500. Let me reduce it to 300. Though I think this one should be 400. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so have given all the information on these sections, and that is what we have. So let me try to open my HTML and see what happens on the live server. Okay, it is very nice. The way just I wanted it to appear. The way I just wanted it to appear. Let me share with you how it actually appears. That is normally what it has. So every of it has a button which says add to cart, which in one way or the other it's not functional, but you can see with clicking there is toggling, and the prices are the same. Which should it be the same? I think we didn't change. We changed there only on top. Now have changed, and this is 300. Okay, let me open the live server, and now it is changed. You try to see it. Okay, it is changed.
Have you reached there, or have I gone ahead of you?
No, I face internet challenges. You will just share with me the code later.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So the next one, I'll go to the cart page. I want to populate the cart page. So this is the home page, or this is the e-text page. Of course, so I'll go to the cart page. See the cart page here. Let me present it for you. So here the cart page, still I'll start normally, doc type. Doc type HTML, then we have HTML. I'll have lang as English. Let me close it. I have end here. So cart page is normally where after selecting in the home page, or in the home page, that is where they will appear. What have you selected? So in the home page you can see what did we make? We just made 3 items. But we had them placed in a section, and we had the identifier of this section as the name of the class, which is products. So we created the first product, called it laptop. We created, and every product has a button. We created the second product, called it phone. It should be not laptop. This one should be a phone. And the third one, we call it handphone. And call it handphone, and then just save that file. So we have created just 3 products. We have just created 3 products, and actually that is what we are having. All right. So I hope this still remains. Then first, good. Let me try to run it. Open with live server. Okay, it is there as we have just made it, no problem. So I'll go now to the cart. Cart is where all, if you select any of these in the index page, then they should appear in the cart page. So how shall we make this cart page? This is the great question. This, of course, I'll have meta. Remember, I'm working with meta. Set. Then we have UTF 8. Then next I'll have still meta name. This is assigned to viewport. Then we have content. We have this content should be assigned to, let me say, the wing. It should be equal to the width of the device of the device, and we say we have what we call initial scale should be 1.0, and I have it closed at this point. The next one I'll go is of course title. Title remains the same. Title. To be shopping cart, of course. The former was shopping center, let this be shopping cart. Then I'll have the link should be linked to, of course, style sheets. This style sheet should be, of course, this file that we are calling script.js. Not styles.css, not script.js. I've just got styles.css because we have said that what we are linking here is the style sheet. But here, what am I linking? I'm linking a script, and script is obviously in JavaScript, and then we send the var, and we have src. The name of the script is script.js, and then we of course close the script at that point. So let me go to the end. Of course, I think I've finished up with the end. So let me go to the body. Let me go to the body. This is just illustration to show how this, of course, is very important, and how we can implement what we call JavaScript to make our web pages interactive. So in this, I'll have what we call section, and see this section now, we will have it as named as cut. Yeah, I'll have this section named as cut, and within this section I'll have h2 and a 2. This determines the size of what I'm writing here when viewed in actually this page that we are calling the cut page. And the next one I'll say an ordered list, This ordered list should be able to access what we call cut items. Now this is now where we start applying logic, not just typing. And now if you look into here, we have access cut items, and you remember that initially we and of course said that there will be items which will be selected. You can select a laptop, you can select phone, you can select handphone. And once you have selected this product, we are now starting to apply an ordered list on now what we are calling the cut items. Yeah. And all right, let's just proceed. You'll see it. In this paragraph, we will have the total. This total should be in dollar. The total should be in dollar. This is directly what will be displayed in the actually in the output. And see that this we have span. Span, we have the ID, and then we have cut total. This should be under bracket.
we have cut total, and then we have 0. I'll run this page, of course, so that you can see what we have just created. So the next one, I'll create a button. I'll create a button, and this button will have. Let me have an idea of this button. This is identification. You can identify a tool using either ID, or you can use what we call the name. So this is part of the identification. So we have checkout, and what is the real name? Checkout. This is what will be rendering the button. This is of course to nullify what you had selected and start shopping afresh. Yeah, checkout, you click on the button and it deletes everything. That is the logic, of course, behind it, what we are trying to make. Okay, let me save and try to run this. So this one contains only, let me present it to you.
This is it. We have items in cart. It displays the total in form of dollar, and then we have the checkout. That is what we have only created. We haven't created quite a number of things. Okay, let me push it and continue still. So let me move to the index bit, and not the index actually. Let me move to the styles. That is to make it stylish now. Styles, that is styles.css. How do we want it to appear? And of course these are things which are connected. As we try to bring a good image to this, I'll of course look into the body section and of course apply things on it. I want font family to be I want it to be something like Arial. We have what we call text align. Let me say center. Let everything be at the center. Then we have background. Let us have we have FFF, or we have let us have F4. Let us just pick that one to have
not a whitish, but it's faded white background. We have it close at this point, then we move to actually the action of the header. So this header, we have background, we have the background. Sorry, hand left, but I'm still presenting. Don't worry, even when I've left, I still come back and continue the presentation where I just left. But we have made some progress from where we are, because currently we are dealing with the CSS. We have translated to CSS. That is actually where we are. And I think we can, if you would allow me,
to make you more equipped, more better. But this we will discuss later. Don't worry. We will discuss that later.
Okay,
I've tried to handle the background, not the background, but the body as a whole. And I have applied this font family. I've also applied this text alignment. We have also applied a different background. So I'm just getting into the header. And the header section is the one that I'm working with. I don't want to see this error. And when does it come from? Let me start working on it and see. There should be an error, unless it doesn't really want to work out. Anyway, let me work on it, and then we have, let me have the background. The background as the same area, but we can just pick any. Not actually the background. The background is the background color. I should have this one. We had the faded white. Let me have the little of black, and then something like little of black and bluish. Okay, let me have funding. Funding is actually how they appear. That is 15 pixels. Let me have 15 pixels. That is, I think that is nice. And okay, let me proceed. Then I have the color. We are actually working on the header. The header is actually containing the card. Perfect. Let me confirm it. I just forgotten. It is only containing the card, as I said. Yes, that is the hand. We are working on the hander of the body, and the hander of the body, not the hand. I had forgotten how I had actually set them. Let me come here again to the styles.css. About we'll see, but it's not that important to us. So we have the color. This is the text color. We have it as white. You can decide to have it as white, and or you can decide to have it as FFFF hash, and then you have FFF. You use the color content. Still that represent white, or you can have white in terms of numbers. So let me have navigation bar A, and this nav A, This error, I've realized it's self-inflicted error. It will come to an end. So I'll have the color of the navigation bar to be white. As I said, you can decide to write white, or you can decide to have it in terms of the color code. Then color and decoration, let me have none. Then I'll have font weight. Let me have bold. The top bar, the navigation bar should be bold. Then we have margin from the left. That is how will it appear from the left. The left is always this side that you start reading from. This is margin left. And then we have around 20 pixels. So let me start now accessing specific sections. And this section, this is product. Now remember what we had used here, Mr. Pork, is what is saving us now. What we had used here in actually giving a class name of the section is what is saving us here, because now we are accessing that section directly using its class name. And we are saying that in the entire section, let the background be white. You see? Let the background be white. Whenever anywhere you don't understand, please just raise an alarm, and then I'll pause to explain it all to you. Don't allow it to pile until you actually don't know where to ask a question. This I'll have as 8 pixels. Then I'll have box shadow. This is of course I don't know, let me just type something. I think it will bring itself. I'm not really competent here in terms of colors. We say when it is at this point, I am not really that competent. The good thing is that when you write something like this, you are sure this is something to deal with black. Zero by the way represent black. F represent white. F represent white. So as we go, then we have display. Then we have what we call inline block. Inline block as indicated there. Then I'll have margin. We have accessed it, now we are acting on it. 10 pixels. Then I'll have it at that point, and then I'll go to button. Let me work on the button. When I access the button, when I say button, I mean this is to all buttons. Then funding. So if you want to see how does this do and how does that do, the best thing is to have it in your code, and then you try to edit it and see the changes. That will be equally saying that this is actually what happens. Now this I'll browse. Let me browse with the best background color for a button. It should be blue, but something to do with best background color for a button. The code itself, here I've gotten it. So I have hash 28A 745. That is the one that they have given me. Then I'll have the color itself. This is the text color. Whenever you see this represents the text color. There's something they call wheat. I've never seen this. Anyway, let me see this. I think it's the color of wheat, if I'm not wrong. It's almost white, or we just use it. Anyway, we just used it, no problem. Then we have this is button. We have border. It should have border. Then this border should be none. We are almost getting to the most important point. That is what we call then JavaScript. And the button should hover. The button should hover. Once you touch the button, it shouldn't remain the same. How do button hover? The background should change to let me just have a small deviation from that, or I don't know. Let me just pick any color, just I guess. I've just guessed that one. Okay, let me say, let us run it. Let's run and see what happens. Now they appear better. This is just a clone website that we are making just for learning purposes. No problem. However, if you want us to better it, no problem. Things now appear better. They appear better now. You can see how they appear better. We have the shopping cart. We have that one. It is. You can also go to the page cart. We haven't really worked on this page, but anyway, we will not work on it. Let's go to the main point of concern. I'll go now direct to what we call the script.js. What do I start with in the script.js? You know, when I've presented to you this one is still in presentation. When I have presented to you this one, let me get there. When I go to cart and then of course this should have a link to get me home, but just for learning purposes, this is what we are doing. When I click this one, it should add to cart, and there should be at least some progress which I'm seeing. It's part of the interactivity. When I click this one, there should be some responses, and that is what I'm saying, that we are trying to make it now more interactive rather than just seeing information which you cannot interact with. We are now creating interactivity in what we can see. Let's go back to VS Code. The one will be following this video. I know you will not see the output, but the output, you are the one to make them be seen on your side. You'll see as you progress with your code. Anyway, okay, just a minute. Okay, if we want to make it better, I just wanted to adjust on the cart by actually having even the this navigation bar blind on this other side. This navigation bar this time round, just a minute, should contain then we have the header section.
let me just apply it where we have I don't know how it will appear in this position, but let me just see. Okay, no problem. We have the top nav bar, then it will be linked to index.html. You will allow me to just apply that one alone here. I will not go into the file decorations. Okay, at least I have something which links us back to where we came from, and I'll call this let me just have it. I will not have much to say about it. Then I'll have index, or I'll call it home. Okay, good. Now it appears. Okay, let's move now to script.js. I hope my screen is still clear, sir. I hope.
Yeah, it's clear.
All right. So the very first thing I start when I load my JS, I'll start with what we call document dot and event listener dot and event listener, which of course has been suggested to me. Then I'll say, don't worry, I'm explaining this as I write. Then I'll say, so there's something we call the DOM method. The DOM, then I'll have content loaded. Of course, this one helps me to write it. Then I'll have this as the function call, and that is it. So we'll have it here. Okay. Now, what is this that I have done, and what is the purpose of all that I'm doing? The purpose of the first thing that I have done, it is to
hello, kindly, I'm in class. I'll call you after I'm in class.
As you can see very well is that what we have here is document and event listener. Then we have DOM content loaded. So we have this function. So this makes sure, and we have stated DOM method somewhere, but I just want us to get back and see what is DOM. What is DOM methods, and what does it mean in JavaScript? So DOM methods is actually methods which helps you to manipulate the actually web pages to access HTML content and still manipulate to make the page more interactive. Yeah, to make the page more interactive. Actually, in the definition, they allow programmatic access to the tree. The tree is actually the HTML structure. The HTML structure is in form of a tree. How do we say that HTML is in form of a tree? It is in form of a tree because it starts from the top
HTML element where it narrows down to the head having subsections which they call the nonce and the branches. And now we give the ability of JavaScript to access these specific element and nonce which are actually defined within the HTML structure. So when you hear about the tree structure, it is the HTML tree structure. Let me send something to your WhatsApp. So this is actually an example of HTML tree structure as I'm just sending it to your WhatsApp. Here we go. So this is actually the HTML tree structure. So this tree structure, we say that in JavaScript you can access any part of the code or any part of the tree. You can decide to directly access what we call the div. You can access h1, you can access ul. So this is what we call a tree structure. Now when we come to the DOM methods, these are methods now which help you to manipulate what we call the HTML structure, to access it and manipulate it to make your web application more interactive. I hope you get it up to there.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. So number one, have said that document and event listener, DOM content loaded, then we have what we call the function. Yeah. So this function, number one, it does what we call, it makes sure that the page and the content is loaded before it starts acting on it. So what we have said is document.andEventListener. AndEventListener, it helps to detect what the function inside here will do. So it helps to detect that DOM content has been loaded. Yeah. When it has been loaded, that is when it calls this function now to its execution. Yeah. So this function execution must be here because every function must be executed, and now function block is where execution happens, and the block of code in JavaScript is done using what we call is defined using what we call the block of code. The block of code, and this is encapsulated, or let me say, it is within what we call the curly bracket. So I've opened the curly bracket so that now I can say when the document is loaded, let this function work now. This function, what does this function do? I say this function, we will define the first variable which gets JSON pass. This is to say that this is a cat. We are actually trying to make a variable called cat, which is used to access what I'm going to write here. We have local storage, and this local storage, so we have get item. So get item, and this item is called cat. Yeah, cat has been defined, and then we have everything closed at that particular point. I'll have what we call or operator. Then I'll have let me have not a curly bracket, but let me have a list. Then I'll close at that particular point. So this is the first part where I'm going now again to explain. So let cat be assigned to JSON parse. This says that we are actually making a variable which will store what will be accessed into the local storage, and we will achieve and get an item called cat. Yeah? What is cat? Cat is actually this file that we have created here, cat.html, which stores a list of what was selected. You see? So we say that this, of course, the cat which we have defined as the variable accesses in the local storage and gets this item, and the items will be stored in the list. This is an empty list that we created. Now, what is the purpose of this OR operator? What is the purpose of the OR operator? We have ever learned about operators, and we said that OR operator gives an output or gives yes or positive output if or gives true if all the two inputs are true or at least one is true. You see? Now, in the definition of OR operator, we say that OR operator gives true if either X or Y evaluates to true. And actually not both of them, I remind you that. So if any of the two, if of course this has been evaluated and there has been something which has been found in the cat, then it will be true because there is something which has been found in the cat. Otherwise, there will also be something which will be found within the actually sorry exclusive OR is which does not go with both, but OR operator gives output of true if any of the values or input is true or both of them. Exclusive OR gives an output of true if only one of the input are true. So if any of this is true, then of course we will have a list returned. Why are we putting OR operator? Is so that when we have this one as false, when we will not have anything in the cat as an item, then it will return an empty list instead of returning none. Yeah? Because if all of them are false, it will return 0. So we are putting this OR so that it will return something, it will return an empty list. An empty list is accepted rather than returning none or 0. I don't know if we are together up to there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me proceed now. Now, going to the document, I'll have another function. Let me call it function update cat counter function update cat counter. This is which is helping us to update whenever somebody selects an item. So then I'll have the block of code for this function. Then I say document get element by ID. This get element by ID, we are getting an element which is called cat count. And this cat count, I'm going to say cat count dot text. text content. Yes,
just have text content, and then I'll have cut length. What we call the cut length. So what does this do? By the way, this we have another DOM method which says that document.getElement by ID. We are trying to access the exact element. Hello? Hello? Okay, let us try to access this element even as we try to update them as well. So number one, we will have this document.getElement by ID cut count, then we have .text content, then we have what we call the cut length. Yeah, so the cut length will be assigned to what we call the cut count. You can get me, Mr. Puok. Hello. Hello, Mr. Puok. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, Mr. Pork?
Mr. Pork, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I am lost and there is a small challenge. So I have just updated something here, and this of course says that we have send that document.get element by id. What are we trying to get by id? We are trying to get some element which has been defined, because of course we linked the index to this one, to script, through this code that you can see here. There we linked it to script.js. So script can access the index through, of course,
what we call DOM methods. And part of
DOM methods is document.get by id. It helps you to get and to access elements even through their ID. So there is one which has an ID which says cat count. So this cat count, it is here the ID of the cat.html. So we are trying to access the old file, and actually this is the old page, even at the top of the navigation bar. So the ID of this this actually page is what we call the cat count. So now coming here, we have said that we have accessed that page, and we say that we have said text content is assigned to cat length. So the content of that cat count will be assigned to cat length. Cat length means it counts the items which have been selected. So after it has counted, what happens? It actually does what we call the updating of the items. Now you can even see here that is actually what normally happens in this case. Now going forward, I just want to finish up this script.js, and then we can see how this works. So we have said that after there has been update on that end, then we will have what we call function save cat. This is a function which saves the cat and says that what has been updated, let it be saved now into cat. Let it be saved into this file called cat in the local storage, and this saving should be in JSON form, but it converts all what is within the cat. You remember that the cat is a variable now which contains items which were selected. So which was selected, and now it converts it into strings for storage. Into strings, it means into text for storage. Then of course it updates what we call the counter. It updates what we call the counter. Let us now proceed. Let us still proceed. Let us still proceed. I hope you're okay up to there.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll go by the other which says document dot query selector all. Then I'll say a bracket and to cut and to cut. So then I'll say for each, okay, for each of course. Then I'll say button
button, then I'll have this arrow function button, then we have this arrow function still, which says that button and event listener. When the button is clicked, on clicking the button, what should happen? We have this function will be executed, and this function says that I'll just explain. We should let product space closest we have dot product let product ID also be product dot get attribute dot get attribute. Then we have data ID, let product name be assigned to product. Data name, and I'll have let product price is equal to product that get attribute data price we have that semicolon cut dot push. So I'll just explain what I'm doing. So I'll have this one ID. We have the product ID. We have name, product, name. We have price, pass float, and then we have product price. So we have the product price. I believe that is okay. Then I have that one at that regular point. Then I say save cut. This is a method. Save cut, and then we say alert. Alert should be product product name, then the word follows, and then to cart. We have product name added to cart. So still we proceed to that. Still we proceed to product added to cart. That is should be, let me have an exclamation mark at the end. Let me remove this from here. I'm wondering why is it behaving this way. Yeah.
Let me use this one. I just want this one. Should be here. I believe that sounds better. Then we have that one as well. However, we can use the normal ones. So here again I'll come and place these ones because we have completed this section. These ones as well. The other ones will come later. I don't know where this one is left. This should be safeguard. When there is an error I'm encountering, just a minute, I'll sort it. This error is here in safeguard. I can see I saved card. I saved on. All right, now it's sorted. Okay. So what does this do? That is the big question that we are asking ourselves. If you can still hear me, we have document query selector. So we are selecting and to cart. Now when does we have and to cart? When does we have and to cart? We have and to cart as a class identifier. Yeah, as a class identifier or the class name of the button. Each button is named and to cart. So whenever we say and to cart here, whenever we say and to cart, this is what happens. So we say that and to cart, we are actually getting from the button. We are selecting all the buttons. That is why we have used this method which says query selector all. It is select all those with this class name which is saying and to cart. And it says for each button here, for each button, then we have an arrow functions which says, by the way, this is a function. We say this is a button. Then we have this is a function. It's called an arrow function. I sent the notes, I remember. So the arrow function, it's just like any other function, but it is easy to implement. So it says for each button, then we have button and event listener, which says that when you have clicked that button, this function should execute. It should have a variable called product which stores this closest product. It stores the product which has been clicked. It searches and looks for that. The reason why it is called the closest, it is the which has been immediately been selected, and it stores it in terms of product.
and then also it stores its product ID, and it stores its product name, which it gets from that data name, which of course we indicated here in the index. Of course we have data name, like here it is phone, data price, we have that one. So it is also what we have as product price, which of course we said it will be accessed in what we call the data price. And we have those variables. Then after that we go to what we call cart push. Cart push, we are pushing these details to the cart, and we are pushing them in form of hello Mr. Pog. I think it has left unceremoniously, but still we can continue.
I think you have your internet is good.
Yeah, sure. It's not that good.
Okay.
So we can just proceed. Let me present once again. All right. Now, I think I was at a point where I was saying that all these details will be submitted to the cart. That is why we say cart push. And this we push this one in form of a JSON file which has ID and product name, product ID. Every product will have ID, of course. That is the product ID. It will have name, and then that is the product name, of course. Price. Then it will pass what we call the pass floater, and that is the product price. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. Have in class kindly. Mwalimu, niko na klasi, ni internet ama hata imepotea na sijamaliza. Imeblink, sasa nimepoteza mwanafunzi kabisa. Kwani mnataka kutoka? Umeenda? Ulikuwa unataka kutoka. Wengine wako huko? Mr. Nika ako? Acha tu nimalizane na huyu mwanafunzi, sitaki kumuwaste leo tena. Internet yetu ni bure kabisa. Yes sir. Ni class niko nayo, hata ni internet imepotea tena.
You still have a class?
Sijamaliza. Hawa wa nini? Nita. Sure. So naona hapa. Sawa. But haki nimekuwa unfair to these students, for the past in this code again. Hello, sir. Hello. I'm saying that I'm in, and this time round it's very fine. Yeah. This time round it's very fine. I'm in. I'm in. Hello.
Yes.
There's quite a background noise on your end. I don't know if you can just text.
Come again?
Or you can kindly text. There's a lot of noise on your side.
Okay, let me text.
You're back, sir. You're back. Let me share back and then we still continue. We are just left with something small and then we are done. Please. All right, here presented again. I just finished the code. Here we have the code
on the
on the
script.js.
script.js. I'm just explaining
how
how this works. So I remember
So I remember I was at a point where I've said that after we have created all these variables, this is actually, we have what we call event listeners as the DOM methods. They listen to an event, and if somebody clicks on the button, then the function this function runs, which says that we have four variables. The first variable is for product, the second one is for product ID. For the product,
it takes note
of the product which has been selected. Yeah, it takes care of the product which has been selected, and then the product ID takes care of the specific ID, that is data ID as we recorded in actually index.html, especially where we have these subcategories, product, and then we have data ID. So the next thing that this one records, it records the product name. What is the name of that product? Yeah, and then the other one, it records the product price, because we have these attributes. These attributes are the ones that are being accessed. This is an DOM method which says that you get an attribute which is named data price. So this data price, for example, for the phone is actually 300, and that one, after it has been clicked, then it gets 300 and comes here and updates that 300. You see? Then the last one we have cut.push. Then we have it pushes in form of the ID, and then it says this is the ID, the name. It says this is the name. Price, it says of course this one converts anything that is within the product price into a floating number. That is what we say, and then we save the cut, and then it produces an alert to say that has been added to cart. The product name, which will be accessed from this variable, it has been added to the cart. I hope up to there you have understood.
Yeah.
Next is what we have as the if statement. It says that if window location path name includes cat.html, so if this cat.html has been found, if this path, the window path, includes, of course, this cat.html, then we have this one which says that let cat items list, let cat items list, which is a variable, be assigned to document get element by ID, and this is ID what is referred to as cat item. When did we record cat items now in our index? We must have recorded items somewhere. We must have recorded items somewhere which we are trying to access. And these items are recorded in this section we are calling the ID. So we are saying that cat items is something which has been recorded in cat HTML, which is an identifier of this unordered list. And now in the script.js, we are actually accessing this one and says that let cat item list be document get element by ID. So it gets this elements which have been listed under cat items. You remember? And this is an ordered list which will be listed when the items have been selected. I don't know up to there you are okay? Okay, now.
Yeah. Yeah, let's continue.
Let's continue.
Now proceeding, we have what we say cat total be assigned to document dot get element by ID. So the total will be actually we get this element which is of course has the ID cat total, which we said that is defined in actually the total. The total is cat total. Cat total is actually an identifier. That is the ID for what is defined in the paragraph total. So this ID, we say that if we get this, we get this one. If we get this one, let cat total be assigned by document dot get element by ID, and then we get that cat total. So that cat total will be let total be assigned to 0. That is to say that initially it will be assigned to 0. It will be assigned to 0. Now, so if we get this one, if this one will be true, because this is an if statement, then we will still continue with this execution which says that cat items list in HTML is assigned to an empty, this is an empty string. And we say that cat for each item, then we have index. Cat for each item, then each item, and then we have the index of that item will be assigned to. Now we have another variable which says document create element, and this element which is being created create element which is called list. Document create element which is called list. We are creating an element which is called li. In other words, it is list. And this list now this will contain list will contain, that is li text content will contain. Now the item dot name, then minus item dot price. It will contain item dot name, and then will be minus item dot price. That is actually the what will be contained in that section. Now if we would like to go to this other side, it doesn't mean it is subtraction. It is just to say that item.name, that is, for example, the name of the item which has been actually gotten, and then this is not a minus, or this is not a subtract, it is just an underscore. Then on the other side it indicates the price of that item, the price of that item. So this is what we are adding to what we call the cat.html. This is what we are adding to what we call the cat.html. So this one is adding content to the HTML document. And this content that we are adding, it is a list, and this list contains the items which have been selected. And now that is actually what we call the list text content, and then their particulars, that is their prices. Then we have let remove button. We have what we call the remove button, which we say that document dot Yes, sorry. I was just giving some instruction. So we have now the let remove button. This remove button, I'm just almost concluding. We say document dot create element. We have button. So remove button dot text remove button. We say that this is assigned to remove. Now I want us to see this one. So if anybody, because we have created a remove button which is a variable. Now
now we say that remove button dot and event listener. If somebody clicks the function, you see what we said that after we have created this variable, we said that this variable is assigned to document dot create element. Create element is what we are creating is the button that is already exists. Now we want to make it. Now looking at this one, we have remove button dot text content, so which is assigned to actually remove. Of course, this is what will be contained within that button. So we are also creating a button in this page that we are calling cat.html, and this tells us that we can also create content with JavaScript in an HTML structure using what we call DOM methods. So we have, if somebody clicks that button, then the function will do this. It will remove that item which is in index 1. It will remove that item, and then we save the cat to say that that item has been removed. I think it shouldn't be in index 1, it should be in index 0. Sorry for that. Then we can have the reload. So location, and then we have the reload. So of course we have the list append child, we have the remove button, cat items list, we have append child. Then we have total. The total will be assigned to item price. The total will be assigned to, actually, if you select the first item, that will be loaded to what we call the total. You remember the total here? And now if you add another item, that will be added again to find the total, because we say that if actually if actually an item is added, what will happen is that the total will be updated, because actually it says that the total, this operator says that we add the variable on the left, we add the item on the left to the variable on the we add the item on the right to the variable on the left, and assign the value to the variable on the left, and assign the value to the variable on the left. So now looking into this one, we actually add now this item on the left, on the right to the variable on the left, and then assign this one to the variable on the left. So looking into this one, you will realize that now this one will be appended on your cat item list, and actually this cat.html will reflect this the total of all the buttons which have been clicked. Now looking down, we have what we call cat total dot text content. We say that total is to fix. This is actually to 2 decimal places. And then we have document dot get element. Now there's another button which is said checkout. So this we if somebody clicks checkout, because we created a button called the checkout, then what happens? Alert proceed to checkout. Then this alert is created on you to say if you want to proceed or not. Then we say local storage, then remove item cat. This is a method which removes everything, and then we reload to have everything afresh. I don't know if I've taken you too fast on that instance, kindly.
Although it's too much, but it's okay, still fine. I will follow the video and the code.
Still, if you would have time, I would stretch a bit, but I know you are a busy man. I am worried because you are also a family man.
Yeah, sure.
But I would be very free any day that you want us to do something. If you just tell me in advance that you have some time at this particular time, I can try to fix my schedules and then try to handle you so that you can update in terms of your content, and actually from the simple linking to advanced one. Let me just show you how that one behaves after we have done all these ones. Let me present to you how this one behaves.
This is how it behaves. Look at it now cleanly. So I can click, and when I click here, you see any time that let me refresh again. So anytime I click, I add something to the cart. Now the cart contains two. Now if I click phone, I'll have a pop-up which says that phone added to cart. Then I say okay. Then you'll see that the cart indicates three now. Then I can add handphone, and then the cart indicates four. And now going to the specific cart, I'll go here and see that I have 400, 400, and 320, and then I have a total of $1,120. You can see, and then I can check out everything, and of course it is checked out, and we have it. That is how the first step in making an interactive website using HTML.
That is very interesting.
Very interesting.
Sure. No problem. When you will have time, we will still share, and we will connect to see how we can manage ourselves.
Yeah, of course, I'm planning to go on leave, and I will have more time. Yeah.
Please let me know when it starts so that we can arrange ourselves, so that we can have the content for that time.
That's good.
Thank you, sir, and have a good evening. We still continue to be in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You can
Okay,
share
you can
the
share
video
the video and the
code.
code.
Yeah.
Okay, let me